Obviously, where I grew up back then, I was a real minority, sort of, in school and stuff like that. I was always like one of the smaller kids. I was different from everyone else. I was probably like two or three black kids in the whole school. No one ever
Oh, wow.
outwardly, yeah, but no one ever outwardly called me on it in school. As
Mm.
such, but I felt, as soon as I went to secondary school, we called it secondary school in the UK, but I felt like I had to almost prove myself a lot of the time. There was one incident, right, that happened to me, right, when I was a kid. It was like a fifth year in the school. He kicked me down the stairs, and I remember it vividly because when he kicked me, his sole of his shoe was flapping, like it wasn't glued in properly. So I remember it vividly. And he kicked me down the stairs, and I fell on a bunch of people and fell flat on my ass, and everyone was laughing. And ever since that day, it just triggered something in me. So anytime someone sort of, if I felt like there was an ounce of me, trying to make me look silly in front of people, I would just snap. And I was like that growing up until I sort of found sort of combat sports and boxing and going to the gym. And
I'm sorry that happened to you, but I know what it's like too to kind of get a little bit bullied and get picked on. And I had a late Gerstberg, so I was a smaller kid in the beginning until about ninth or 10th grade. And but that, I mean, he kicked you down the steps and his shoes flapping, so
it
shoes
was
being glued
embarrassing, man.
on.
But
Yeah.
I was like 11. He was like 14, 15. And you know what it's like when you're growing up, the older kids want to pick on the little kids. But then I thought that is the last time anyone's picking on me. And I sort of went the opposite way, Yeah.
But it makes sense. What you're saying makes sense. I mean, you get picked on and you're like, this. I'm not going to allow people to mess with me anymore. So I'm going to take some, boxing or martial arts or whatever, jujitsu, wrestling, whatever. So you could be prepared. And it also builds up your confidence.
Yeah, well, do you know what? So when I sort of got into the boxing and the Muay Thai and stuff like that, it actually made me less aggressive, if that makes sense.